So you got the concentration face on right now. So you got to always make sure you're smiling so that when it does go live, you're looking good. You can't be like,
Hey.
oh, hi. Trying to figure out the technology. Anyway, I learned that after many years of this.
Is it on? Is it on?
Is it on?
Oh,
Is this
no.
thing on?
I thought I froze for a second. Hi, everybody. Come on in. Happy Monday.
Hey, guys, come on in. Great to see you. Yeah, Monday Night Live. That's right. Good way to start off the week. What a week it's going to be, too. My, oh, my. What a weekend it was.
Oh, did you watch the Super Bowl, Steve?
I did. I watched Satan in the booth.
I'm not even going to do it. The little hand thing. That was stupid.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. I don't know. It's such a bummer because I live 20 minutes from Biden's basement, right? And we had two teams in my immediate area. So we had Philadelphia and Baltimore. They just had one job, just knock out Kansas City. And then we gave it to San Francisco. I have family out in San Francisco. They follow the 49ers religiously. And of course, they were very excited all the way through until the second half. And then it just kind of all fell apart, unfortunately. So anyway, there you go. Yeah. The witch won. she cast some spell and anyway.
Yeah. I don't know that I believe the conspiracies about it being rigged, but the overtime really made me question a lot of things. I'll say that was odd.
Yeah, if Kelsey got the winning touchdown, I would have been totally, this thing is rigged. I would have been, that's it. But he was a little too open for me. Every time he caught the ball, I'm like, there's nobody around him. What's going on with that? So I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? Who cares? It's just a dumb Super Bowl.
Exactly. Well, come on in. Most of you probably did not watch it, and good for you. You didn't miss much. But welcome to Monday Night Live Stream, especially to those of you here in our virtual studio. Hello, hello. Always good to be with you here. If you've got a question tonight, make sure you put the word question in all caps for our Insiders members in here, and I'll be going through those, and we'll get into those in a little bit. But there's so much to talk about today, especially in our news portion. So we'll get into that. But Steve, what's going on?
Dems are flipping out. Like always. They're always flipping out over something. They try to pretend that they're so calm and in control. But yeah, we have a new poll that came out today that confirmed what I argued on Friday. So we talked about this on my live stream Friday video, right? This is proof this poll that dropped within the last 24 hours. This is proof. This is confirmation that if you are a subscriber to this channel, or even better, if you're an Insiders Club member, if you are either one of those or both, as Rush would say, you are on the cutting edge of societal evolution. So definitely subscribe to the channel, but even more important, click on the link below, sign up on our email list to make sure that we never, ever lose contact with one another, no matter what big tech censors try to pull on us. But I had, if you missed Friday, or even if you were listening on Friday, I had an extended thesis all throughout our 2-hour live stream Friday broadcast. It was our live stream reaction to Biden's, what do you want to call the press conference? It was Biden's, complete and total train wreck, disaster, Chernobyl. Ben Shapiro called it the Challenger explosion of press conferences. It made the Hindenburg look successful. Remember, because it was the context of the Biden press conference on Thursday night. It was the context that just makes it so choice. It makes the whole thing so perfectly abysmal, because the context is originally intended to assuage voters of their concerns that the report, right, the special counsel report, corroborated that Biden was indeed very old and very, very, very senile, too old and too senile to be put on trial. That's basically what concluded. And the press conference was supposed to dispel those concerns. Because, obviously, well, if he's too old and senile to be put on trial, then what's he doing with his finger on the nuclear button? So, people were willing to give Biden the benefit of the doubt. And they said, okay, good. So he's going to do a press conference. He's going to come out and he's going to talk about how, politically motivated this her report is for sticking that in there. How dare they? I didn't do anything wrong, and I'm sharp as a pin, and blah, blah, blah. And he got up there and he started to sputter in a way that only further confirmed what Herr saw. People, even the people who were willing to give Biden the benefit of the doubt, were suddenly shocked by how confused and befuddled and bewildered and disoriented he looked and sounded all throughout that train wreck press conference. Again, it was a public relations disaster. And I said on the live stream Friday broadcast, literally 12 hours after it, that all the calls that we heard erupting on Thursday night and throughout Friday, calling for the 25th Amendment, right, which spells out the formal procedures of how you remove a sitting president when he's no longer capable of carrying out his duties, that all those calls from Republicans, even some from Democrats like Dean Phillips, who's the representative from Minnesota, who's running against Biden for the Democrat nomination, all the calls for Biden to resign, none of these calls were under any illusions that Biden was actually going to resign or that anyone in his cabinet was actually going to follow through with invoking the 25th. What the calls for invoking the 25th all revealed, what they all identified, what they all were zeroing in on and politically pressing was Biden's Achilles heel. So I was just talking about this actually with Dinesh D'Souza earlier this afternoon. I did an interview with him that's coming out later this week. I'll reveal to you Insiders Club members, because you're on the inside, I'll reveal to you guys later on tonight what Dinesh said to me. But I brought this up to him and asked if he agreed, and you will not believe what he said. But what I argued on Friday was that Biden's age and senility, which go hand in hand, right? People can be 80 years old and still very much on top of their game. I mean, look at Warren Buffett, for heaven's sakes, right? Or if you want an evil example, like look at George Soros, the Dark Lord himself, right? What is he, 150 or something like that? And he's still causing all that trouble. It's not his age per se. It's his age and his senility. The age, as it were, sort of, it embodies the senility in this sort of perfect shell. Combined, his age and senility are his Achilles heel. And the fundamental reason for that is that you can reverse anything and everything Biden. You could reverse his disastrous policies, down ticket. You could reverse Bidenomics. You could reverse the disaster at the southern border. You can reverse the policies that are leading to inflation, recession. You could reverse foreign policy absurdities like, sending all gazillions of dollars into that money pit named Ukraine. All those things can be reversed with an election, with a change in the administration, with public pressure. All of those things can be reversed. What can you not reverse? You can't reverse Biden's age or his senility. They are only going to get worse, guaranteed. That's why it's his Achilles heel. Hannah, do you have the video montage I sent to you earlier today?
You want me to play it?
I want everyone to see what not just the nation is seeing. I want everyone to see what the world is seeing.
You ready?
Anyway, and I don't want to, well, maybe choose my words. I was just thanking the Anyway, but I just, look, I mean, Putin's kleptocracy, yeah. It was in January, after being elected. The late January, early February. He said, it's not, we lead, not just, well, I won't go into it. Here's what drives the driver in the states that are affected. Here's what you can do, the drivers. For two reasons. One, it's an impact that decades been making, because inaction was there was inaction with the Department of from Charlotte, another line going from in Florida down to Tampa. The best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you, that you like to be able to. Anyway, the idea that and
All right,
John,
all right. I think everyone gets it. I do. I mean, I can't. I mean,
That's
yeah,
sad.
it is. I do, and I even said that on Friday. I said, it, in a sense, it is. It feels incredibly cruel. If he wasn't doing so much damage to the nation and to the world, you know, I mean, it would just be, you know, this would be like kicking a puppy. I mean, it's just, he's just. It is. It is so sad. But gang, you know, the entire world is seeing that. Vladimir Putin is seeing that. And they're not afraid of us. So I made the argument on Friday that this is what you just saw there is Biden's Achilles heel. Literally, Trump doesn't have to do anything other than just play this day in and day out for people to see. He doesn't have to even talk about the issues again. All the issues could be reversed. We know that. That can't. And I cited a poll on Friday that came out earlier last week. It was the NBC poll. It was a devastating poll. What did it show up? Trump up by 5. Karine Jean-Pierre was actually asked about it by Peter Doocy, and she couldn't even remotely respond to it. Because in the crosstabs, the real... the shocker wasn't Trump up by 5, right? In the national polling, the shocker was, and again, and that was shocking in and of itself, because NBC consistently is bearish on Trump. This is how Rich Barris would say it. They're not bullish on Trump; they're bearish. In other words, their polling inordinately always favors Biden. It favored Biden every single poll in 2020. Trump never even came close to tying an NBC poll. And it has up to this point, up to the last 2 polls, it's always shown Biden in the lead. Now NBC itself was admitting, frick, all right, Trump is in the lead now. All right, we've waited and measured everything that we could do. We've sampled it in every way that we could to make sure it would come out a plus Biden poll, and it didn't. No matter what we did, it's still Trump. So it's Trump 5. It's probably more like the latest McLaughlin poll that just dropped. I believe it was today, where it's Trump plus 8. It's only going to get higher. But if you bet, that wasn't the shocker. If you go into the crosstabs, the shocker, what Karine Jean-Pierre, a liar in chief, was asked about by Peter Doocy, was the 76% of voters that were seriously concerned about Biden's age and cognitive health. 76% of voters, 3 in 4, thought Biden was too old and senile to be reelected as president. Now, that was before the Her report dropped. That's before the bombshell report that came out on Thursday. We now have a new poll that just dropped in the last 24 hours. It's not an NBC poll. Now it's an ABC poll. Okay. An Ipsos, ABC Ipsos survey poll. And it found, you ready for this, gang? This is a poll taken after the Her report. Now, 86% of voters agreed Biden is too old and senile to be reelected. He should not be serving another term. 86%. That's a 10-point surge from the NBC poll that dropped a week ago. 10-point surge. You can be assured it was inordinately affected by that disastrous press conference that followed the dropping of the Her report. The number of people who believe that Biden is now officially, just simply no longer fit for office and should not be reelected, surged 10 points in a single week to an astonishing 86%. When you round that off, that's 9 in 10 voters saying he's one and done. If he's this bad at 81, he'd be inaugurated at 82 in January 2025. And he would be going all the way till he's 87. And if he's this bad now, and it's not only going to continue to degenerate, but it will degenerate faster. In fact, it's compound. It's going to get worse. It's going to magnify the worseness every time it gets worse. This is his Achilles heel. Again, I was just talking about this with Dinesh D'Souza. The degeneration of the economy, the degeneration at the border, the degeneration of law and order throughout our nation is increasingly being perceived by more and more voters as inextricably linked to Biden's mental and physical degeneration. And that means it's impossible to separate the issues from the man. So keep in mind, too, what this also did. I don't think we actually got into this too much on the Friday live stream. This totally sucked out this Her report and then Biden's Hindenburg of a press conference completely sucked out all the wind from the sails. Sucked all the wind from the sails, I guess I should say. From that disastrous border bill that Democrats were using to batter Republicans with earlier in the week to try to change the narrative on the southern border. The southern border is the Republicans' fault. Can you even effing believe that? Can you believe that the party and the administration that is deliberately opening up the borders could even remotely be successful in convincing voters that it's the Republicans' fault that we have open borders? But with the spin, they were going to be somewhat successful. It was pretty clear. Everybody was admitting that this idiot open borders bill, this utterly idiotic open borders bill, sponsored by a freaking Republican of Oklahoma, one of the reddest states in the nation to boot, was a political disaster for the GOP. It's gone. Nobody's even talking about it anymore. How could they? And every time they open their mouth, you just turn around and say, no, it's not the Republicans. We're not playing politics. No, it's the fact that you have a cognitively declining man in the Oval Office. Just go and ask him. Just go have a press conference with him. You'll find out. And then one final thing. There's this. You ready for this? It just keeps getting worse for the Democrats. I kid you not. And it's only Monday. You ready for this? I'll probably do a video on this tomorrow. I didn't have a lot of time to do the full research on it that it deserved. But a new study just dropped today. Newsweek is publishing this study. Keep in mind, as I talk about. This is not Breitbart. This is not Gateway Pundit, right? This is not Newsmax. This is Newsweek. This is as legacy media as you can get. Newsweek just published the results of a study by a political scientist at Widener University, not too far away from where I am. The study found that if the polling average across the board that we have been seeing over the last 2 months or so, okay, if that polling average holds into November, if it stays relatively the same or within the range, according to his calculations, Donald J. Trump will be the first Republican to win the popular vote in 20 years, since George W. Bush won it back in 2004 with 51% of the vote. In other words, according to this study from Widener University, Trump is poised to absolutely crush it, just like we've been arguing. So needless to say, I mean, the Dems are absolutely panicking. But the problem is Biden's all they got, gang. I mean, I know we could be talking about Michelle till we're blue in the face, but even David Axelrod over the weekend said, and he was talking to Democrats when he was saying this. He wasn't talking to Republicans. He was talking to Democrats. No, Michelle ain't coming to save you. She has no, I've talked to her. She's no interest whatsoever. She's not coming. She's not doing it because they know they're going to crush her. That's why. That's the dirty little secret. She doesn't poll very well. They know they're going to crush her. And then when it comes to Gruesome Newsom, don't tell Bill Maher this, but Gruesome Newsom polls even worse than Biden. Newsom is a very unpopular governor. I mean, the guy almost got recalled, for heaven's sakes. He's a very unpopular governor. He's very unpopular in the Rust Belt states, Wisconsin, Iowa, Michigan, Pennsylvania. Trump will crush him in those regions. He is he's a Macron par excellence. He's a globalist par excellence. Trump is the blue-collar vote king. And this election, I think Rich Barris of the People's Fund is absolutely right. This election, when all said and done, when you look at Arizona and Georgia and Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Iowa, this election comes down to the blue-collar vote. North Carolina comes down to blue-collar vote. And no one gets that blue-collar vote like Trump. So, I mean, Biden's all they got. They don't have Michelle. They don't have Gruesome Newsom. And forget, although Kamala is making some moves, even when she's not drinking. Kamala is making some moves. We'll have to talk about that tomorrow as well. But she doesn't even break the 30s at this point. So all of this means, while it obviously sounds very, very exciting, all of this means, however, that the Democrats are now going to they will end up being more motivated to cheat than ever before. They will be more motivated to win by fraud, blatant, outright fraud, than ever before. And that's why we've decided to do a special pop-up event this Friday. Instead of our normal live stream Friday, we're going to do a special pop-up event that addresses this very subject. Hannah, do you want to come on back here and talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. So, this Friday, as you just said, Steve, we are going to be doing a 2-hour boot camp. We say it's 2 hours, but these things tend to go a little longer because we just get into such a rich discussion. So last week, actually, in our Insiders Club time, somebody asked an amazing question about how we go about fixing this problem. And it really got Steve and I thinking. We were already asking this question. And so, we're going to dive into it. Steve's got some strategies, and it would be really, really good if you guys came and heard them. So
that was, I'm sorry. And just in parentheses, that was part of the discussion with Dinesh today, since Dinesh has been on the front lines with 2,000 Mules and so forth, what he's seeing for election reinforcement in the good way.
Oh, good. Yeah, that'll be exciting when that comes out. So come join us. We'd love to have you at this election protection boot camp next Friday, 11 Eastern Standard Time. Just click the link in the description or go to election.turleytalks.com. It is extremely important that we don't, and everybody doesn't just try to figure this out on their own. Google's not going to tell you the kind of strategies that Steve's going to be going into. And so if you can't make it on Friday, we will send you a recording. We will send you access. If you go to that link, everybody just click on it to let me know that it works. Go to election.turleytalks.com, and there's a basic and there's a VIP. If you want to be a VIP, we are going to be doing a little Q&A afterwards, face to face. So if you want to see Dr. Steve and he can see you, we haven't done that in years. So it'd be really fun to do that and get to meet you. I'll be there virtually in person, but we'd love to have you. So yeah, just click the link in the description. We'd love to have you at that boot camp. Yeah. Awesome. And if you have any questions about that, let me know in the chat.
Yeah, I got some info from Dinesh that will not be in the interview, so you'll want to go there. I'll only share it on Friday.
Yes. So just click that link down there. It's such an important topic. You're not seeing the link. If you're already in the that's a question from one of our virtual members here. It's just for if you're on YouTube or Rumble, you can click the link in the description. There's not really a description here in the virtual studio, but let me put it in the chat here. But for those of you on YouTube, let me make sure that you guys click on that and make sure that it works, because that would concern me if it's not. Let's see here. Yeah, here we go. Works on my end, but let me know if it works for you guys. Here you go. So yeah, I'm really glad that you're doing that, Steve. I think it's
I think so. And again, we need to start thinking about this early and often. Right? Vote early, vote often. Well, let's think about election integrity early and often, all throughout the year, and hopefully we will be ready for whatever Saruman tries to pull on us.
Good. Well, if you did go and register, I see some people saying that it works for you. Go ahead and go through and then let me know that you'll be coming on Friday. I'd love to see that, or just get a recording of that. So, and I would just put the link in the chat there for you guys in the virtual studio. Okay. Yep.
Good. Is it working? Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. We talked about, I think today on my first video, we announced it. So hopefully, hopefully it's up and running. You never know with
people
tech.
Are signing up. I can see.
Okay. Good. Excellent. Yeah.
At least
it'll be awesome, and it'll be really important pop-up little mini conference for us Friday. I love doing obviously Friday live stream Fridays, but this is as important as it gets. So we need to really be talking seriously about this and taking proactive measures to make sure that we're able to fortify our elections rightly.
Yeah, because even if Trump is ahead and it looks great come election day,
right?
So what?
Right.
What? We don't do
right. And again, they don't have to do it. They're not going to do it in Texas. They're not going to do it in Florida. They're going to do it in Arizona. They're going to do it in Georgia. They're going to do it in Wisconsin. They're going to do it in Pennsylvania. That's what we have to be. That's what Michigan. That's what we're going to have to be keeping our eyes on.
Well, yeah. Do we want to jump into insiders time, or
I think so. Is it time? Yeah, I think it is insiders time. Yeah.
Well, let me say that I don't know that we touched on that earlier, you guys. I've been saying this for the last few weeks, and I really hope that you guys will hear me when I say this. Next week, we are engaging with YouTube about monetizing our channel again, and it's really important that we have every single person who's watching. We have 2,100 people here watching. Please go and give us your contact information. We don't know what's going to happen after that week. So there's another link. There's lots of links in the description tonight, but please click the Insiders one and just put your name and your email in. It's vitally important that we all stay in touch with one another. Who knows what could happen, especially going into this year. So if we don't have your contact information, if you're here in the virtual studio, you're good. But if you're watching on YouTube or Rumble or Twitter right now, and you have never engaged with us, but you really love what we do, please go in and put your name and email in. A lot of people wonder why we don't just go onto Rumble. Well, Rumble's another platform that's owned by somebody else that could pull the rug out from underneath us. So please go put your name and your email.
Someone could pull the rug out from under them. They're trying to take down Rumble. That's yeah.
Exactly. So if you guys could do me a favor and just click the link in the description, put your name and your email in. That puts you on our email list. If something happens, we'll send you an email and know where to go, what to do. Once you go through there, you'll have the invitation to come join us on our virtual studio on nights like tonight and ask questions and be in our innermost circle. And there's some amazing things we're working on to fight this. And we're really excited to share that with you. But if you guys could please go click that link in the description, put your name and email in. That would be really wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll never lose touch. That's the beauty of the good old-fashioned email list. I mean, it's oldie, but it's a trusty and it's a goodie. Good old-fashioned email list. As long as we have your email, we'll never lose touch. We can contact you and let you know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, Ellen Hunt says, I did do that part. I love getting the newsletter. Yeah, so we send out daily newsletters of what's going on in the world. You definitely want to get on that list. So, is there anything else? Oh, I don't think you've talked about this yet, Steve. I feel like I'm just making announcements here. But there is one other link in the description, you guys.
Oh,
You want to talk about it, Steve? Why don't you talk about it?
Yeah, the cruise.
Yeah.
The cruise, not the Ted cruise, a Mediterranean cruise, right? Yeah, it's funny. I think I was just asked that last live stream Friday. I think somebody asked me a question on that, and I was like, "Oh, I wish Hannah was here because I don't, you guys are so awesome in terms of how you take care of all the logistics." So I'm like, I don't know the latest. I heard we booked a lot of cabins. So anyway, yeah. So this is so cool. So you guys set this up. I'll throw it over to you, but I'll give you guys a sense of what I got. I got a notice from Hannah who said, "Hey, we got that initial announcement we did on our Mediterranean cruise. A whole group of us. We open. I think we have like 30 cabins or something like that for everyone to who wants to come to book. It's a Royal Caribbean cruise. We go to Spain. We go to France. We go to Italy in this summer in August. And we're going to do some sessions, some teaching sessions each morning. We're going to fellowship. But it's really more just to get to know each other and have a wonderful time together in the Mediterranean and beautiful weather and beautiful situation. And Hannah's like, we got, most of the cabins were booked. But we still have a few more left. And you know what? It is Valentine's Day, you romantic you. This Valentine's Day this Wednesday. Why don't we break out the early bird special again and offer it just one more time and see if just that alone will just fill up the rest of the cabins. We won't even go to the regular pricing that we were going to offer going closer to the event. So I said, awesome. So we've got a special price, low price for you if you sign up now around Valentine's Day to give to your lovely bride or significant other or whatever for an amazing cruise in the Mediterranean with Dr. Steve and your fellow Turley Talkers. And we're just going to make it, an absolutely enriching time, a fun time, a beautiful time. The goal in this is going to be a life memory. You will never forget this. That's the goal. I don't want to ever forget it. And I want to share that with you so that we walk away there changed for the better, ready for November 2024. So over to you, Hannah, whatever you have on that. You have the logistics.
Paradise with Patriots. More.
There you go.
So, yeah, exactly. When we first launched this back in December, we did an early bird special, and we just decided to bring that back for Valentine's Day. I remember, Steve, you telling me that you got your wife a cruise or something for a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And so this really started because we took a cruise as a company, and we were like, oh, this would be fun to have Turley Talkers on. So we got a ship. It's not just for us, but we reserved a bunch of spots and we'd love to have you there. So if you are planning your summer next summer and would love to come join us, just click the link in the description. It's actually a pretty good price for everything that's in there. And you and I did a Q&A in December where we walked through all of it. So there's a recording on that page, cruise.turleytalks.com. and we'd love to have you. So,
Yeah, we have private tours and everything because we're a big enough group. So when we hit all our spots and when we land, we're gonna have a private tour guide just for us. I mean, it's just it's the works. You're gonna love it. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So, we're gonna switch over here to our Insiders Club only. But I guess there's a couple different call to actions here. First of all, if you want to join us over here as we answer questions, just click the link below. Actually, everybody click the link below and put in your name and your email so we can contact you no matter what happens here in the next week. And then join us in Insiders if you feel led to do that. And then our election protection event, don't forget to register for that. That is on Friday during our usual live stream time. And then, yeah,
Cruise.
if you want to come on the cruise,
Yeah.
that link is in the description too. So good to be with you guys. I know the cruise isn't for everybody, but if that's something you want to do, just want to throw that out there. So.
Yeah, absolutely. For especially this week and Valentine's Day, I think that's
Oh
wonderful.
yes, it'd be a fun surprise. I hope my husband does that for me.
Right.
All right. Well, we're going to be talking about all kinds of things, including some conversations that you've had with Seb Gorka. Secret. So come join us over there, everybody. We'd love to have you. Have a great week, though. If you're